This program is brought to you by Milo, the Olympic energy drink. Hi, welcome to Golf Review. I'm your host, Mike Hudson, and this week we're at the Benictacan Valley Golf Course in Subic Bay to bring you another in our exciting series of Milo Golf Challenges. And this week we'll be playing in conjunction with the KGB monthly tournament. Our first player is Dante Morados, a lawyer and businessman who plays out of the Camp Aguinaldo Golf Course. Our second player in the group this week is Bert McClung. He plays out of the Capitol Hills Golf and Country Club and says he hits the ball about 200 yards off the tee. Our third player this week, Tony Unrilly, a businessman. He also plays out of the Capitol Hills Golf Club. And completing the group this week, we have Carl Lagdomeo. Plays out of Capitol Hills, and he also hits the ball about 200 yards. Looks like a pretty even fight in this week's Milo Golf Challenge. This week we'll be playing over 4 holes at the Benictacan Valley Golf Course, holes number 5, 6, 7, and 18. Let's get out to the action right now on hole number 5, which is a 160-yard long par 3. And there's Tony Unrilly's tee shot there, used a 6-iron. And the ball drifts off a little bit to the right, and quite a way to the green here, and you can see the pin cut in the left center of the green. Next on the tee, Bert McClung. He's going with a 5-wood. And falling back a little bit off that swing, but it looks pretty good. And there it is, up on the right side of the green, about pin high. Nice start there for Bert. Of course, in our Milo Golf Challenge, we play these 4 holes at stroke play with no handicap strokes being given. And here's Dante Morados. A nice full swing there, going with a 5-iron. Drifting out a little right, and just catching the edge of that bunker on the right side of the green. That ball looks like it's about half in and half out of that bunker. Now, Carl Lagdomeo. Nice move through the ball there. Carl, very steady player. Just rolling off the edge of the green down that little slope, and that'll be a tricky little pitch from that position. Tony Unrilly. Far right of the green, pitching wedge, nicely up on the green and leaving himself about 12 feet to try and save a par. Now Morados, difficult shot here. Ball right on the edge of the bunker. He gets it out pretty well from there. That's a tricky shot. McClung, this for birdie. The only player to hit the green in regulation on the 5th hole, the first hole of our Milo Golf Challenge, and rolls that by right past the top edge, about 6 feet by the hole. Tony Unrilly trying to save par. And that's got a lot of borrow in that, and a slow green as well, as Dante Morados. And that ball started left of the hole and kept breaking. He should be able to make an easy bogey from there. And he does. That's a 4 for him. And after the first hole of play in the Milo Golf Challenge, McClung, Morados, and Lagdomeo all at 1 over. Tony Unrilly at 2 over.
Ang KGB masayang golf club yan dahil sari-saring personality ang dumadalo dyan. Kaya pag nasabihan na akong may tournament tayo sa ganitong petsa, ako, tuwang-tuwa na ako. Okay lang. Dahil alam mo itong course na ito, pangalawa lang ako, pero pangalawang laro ko lang ito, pero matagal na, 1 taon nang nakaraan. At napakahirap ito dahil maraming bundok.
Welcome back to the Benictacan Valley Golf Course, where we're bringing you the Milo Golf Challenge on Golf Review, as we see one of our co-leaders, Bert McClung, on the tee of this par 5, 469-yard long hole. There's Tony Unrilly. You can see this is a fairly straightaway par 5, slight dogleg left, as Carl Lagdomeo starts out. And Dante Morados. It's hole number 6 at Benictacan Valley, the second hole of our Milo Golf Challenge today. As Morados hits a nice shot there with the driver.
Maganda, it's well organized. Tsaka magpapasalamat kami dun sa mga nagiging host tsaka sponsors. Okay naman, kaya ang accommodations na binibigay sa amin.
Ano naman po ang laro?
For 2 holes only, medyo nagkalat ng konti. For some other hosts, nakakabogi naman, ganon.
And so back to the action here is Tony Unrile, the last of the group to hit his second shot. And nicely up the fairway. And that shot still left him with a fairway wood in for his third shot here. Shot starting a little left. And that's just left of the green, about pin high. Not too bad a position, but a difficult little pitch onto this elevated green. McClung, third shot. A very characteristic swing of Bert, falling onto the right foot as he follows through. And good direction, coming up a little bit short. Dante Morados. 8-iron left in, caught that a little bit heavy. See a big divot, took the ground out before he hit the ball. As you see McClung, this is his fourth shot. Oh, and he missed that one. Pulled up a little bit as he tried to hit it, and sculled the pitching wedge. Unrile. Oh, nicely done from the side of the green, and leaving himself about a 5-footer. Morados. Sand wedge from just short of the green. Wow, beautiful shot there for Dante Morados. That should be a sure par for him. Oh, McClung's missed another one. And that's 2 chip shots Bert McClung's mixed here. This is for a bogey 6. Oh yeah, rolls it straight in. Easy bogey for Bert McClung. A couple of misfires there, but rolls in the long putt. And Tony Unrile is for par. Oh, not hard enough. Slow green there, Tony. So after 2 holes of play, Morados and Lagdameo at 1 over par are in the lead. McClung and Unrile just back from them. We'll be back with more from Benictican Valley right after these short reminders. Welcome back to the Benictican Valley Golf Course. You're with Golf Review, and this is the Milo Golf Challenge with Tony Unrile on the tee of the 7th hole. It's a par 4, 346 yards long. And this is our 3rd hole of play in the Milo Golf Challenge. This is one of our leaders, Carl Lagdameo. And a nice shot there down the fairway. Bert McClung going with the driver. Ball started a little bit left, coming back in the fairway. And nice shot there for Bert. And here's Dante Morados, the co-leader with Lagdameo at just 1 over par. A high arcing shot there, going off a little bit right, but staying in the fairway. We'll have a long shot left to the green here, as we see Tony Unrile. Ball's pushed out right, and stops pretty quick there. Ground a little bit soft up here in Subic Bay. As we see Morados. Second shot with a fairway wood. Ball's gone right as well, and finds the green side bunker off to the right of the green. You see most of the greens here in Benictican Valley elevated, making it fairly difficult to pitch up to them. There's Carl Lagdameo. The ball's gone left and misses the green on the left side. Now McClung had the best drive of the group. Ball straight at the pin and nicely up on the green. Good shot there, and a birdie opportunity for Bert McClung. There's Tony Unrile. And that 3rd shot just getting up on the green. And a chance to save par. Wow, hits the hole. Carl Lagdameo almost slam dunks that one. Comes up about 4 feet away from the hole. And Dante Morados from the bunker. Oh, a little bit too much sand there. And I think that stayed up on the fringe. Yeah, it was just above the bunker. He used a pitching wedge for that shot and gets it about 6 feet past. But he'll have that left for a bogey now, as we see Tony Unrile. Wow, good looking putt there, just slides by the top edge. And McClung for birdie. Wow, misread the allowance a little bit. As Morados. Oh, how did that stay out? And he'll take a double bogey here on the 7th hole. And Lagdameo safely in for a par. Maclang. Yep, right in the middle for his par. So after 3 holes of play in the Milo Golf Challenge, Carl Lagdameo all alone in the lead at 1 over par. Bert Maclang just behind him at 2 over, followed by Morados and Enrile. Now let's find out a little bit more about the KGB.
Fun and excitement soared high one Thursday morning at the Biniktikan Golf Course inside the Subic Freeport Zone when the Kapisanan ng mga Golfers sa Broadcast or KGB held its monthly golf tournament.
Well, we've had another wonderful day of golf, the month of June, and this is the 30th, almost the turn of the month into another month. And the tournament this time of the Kapisanan ng mga Golfers sa Broadcast was at Biniktikan Valley Golf Course, a beautiful course here in Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority's territory. The group that came over through the courtesy of a tourist bus provided by Senator Tito Soto, and we'd like to thank him for that.
Sponsor for the month's competition was Mr. Antonio Herrera Jr. of Electrobus, the local distributor of Callaway and Kenneth golf sets. Other sponsors of the tourney were Senator Tito Soto and Subic Bay Management Authority Chairman Richard Gordon.
First of all, for KGB, Dick Delfonso, I do believe you're doing a good job in bringing tournaments out of town. For the course, especially on the blue tee, it's a hard blue tee, no? I do believe if I was talking to the caddy, and the caddy was saying how the laharas affected them, that they themselves did it 14 inches of lahar, and to keep the course this way is you have to thank the people who have helped out in maintaining this course, no? Most especially my caddy, si Mang Pete. Si Mang Pete, I think 30 years dito sa Biniktikan. As to the game I played, I think I played good, especially in the front 9. The back 9, I started to do my usual self, no? Yeah, I'd also like to thank Antonio June Herrera, no, for being the sponsor of this month's tournament for KGB. Most especially his company Electrobus, the distributors of Callaway and Kenneth Smith. June, thanks a lot for everything.
Well, I haven't played for more than 2 weeks. The course is nice. Played a very bad back 9. But basically I came here to get a suntan. Well, KGB is on its feet, and hopefully I hope to do better in Baguio at the end of the month. And I guess I have to congratulate in advance Virgil Villavicencio, who probably played the best game of his life.
Beautiful trophies were awarded to the various class winners, while goods were raffled off to all the participants after the tournament. Butch Marco of PTV4 scored an 87 to clinch Class C, while Bert Maclang fired a 6 over par 78 to bag Class B. Calvin Sadiwa came through with an 82 to grab Class A, even as Virgil Villavicencio sizzled with a net 1 under par 71 to crown himself the overall champion. Congratulations and more power to all.
Our host, of course, was the office of Chairman Dick Gordon of SBMA, and I'd like to specifically thank Boots Ligsay of the Tourism Office, as well as Zeni, her assistant, who provided the logistical support. Our sponsor for the tournament was Electrobus Consolidated Incorporated, the distributor of Kenneth Smith and Callaway golf equipment. We'd like to thank June Herrera and his dad for the wonderful raffle prizes, as well as for the support given as sponsor for the June tournament of KGB. Once again, to everybody, we had a beautiful time here at Biniktikan. Thank you all for providing us with everything we needed for this day of enjoyable golf.
And now let's look in our golf dictionary this week. And our term is loose impediments. Loose impediments are natural objects such as stones, leaves, twigs, branches, and the like, dung, worms, and insects, and casts or heaps made by them, provided they are not fixed or growing and are not solidly embedded and do not adhere to the ball. Sand and loose soil are loose impediments on the putting green, but not elsewhere. Snow and natural ice, other than frost, are either casual water or loose impediments at the option of the player. Manufactured ice is an obstruction. dew and frost are not loose impediments. So there you have it, loose impediments. We'll be right back after this. So welcome back to Golf Review. And now let's look at our golf rule for this week. The question is, a large stone has been placed at the entrance to a drain in a bunker to prevent sand from washing into the drain. What is the status of such a stone? The answer is the stone is an immovable obstruction, since it serves as part of the drain, which is itself an immovable obstruction. The status of such a stone should be clarified by the committee. Now let's go back to the action on the fairway. This is the closing hole of our Milo Golf Challenge, hole number 18 at the Benedictine Valley Golf and Country Club. A par 4, 387 yards long, as we see Tony Unrile's second shot. And coming up well short there. A beautiful hole this, the closing hole at Benedictine Valley, as Dante Morados slipped out of the lead on that last hole when he suffered a double bogey. He's moved back to 3 over par, 2 strokes off the lead of this man, Carl Lagdameo. And that shot started left, headed for the trees. Oh, clipped that big tree there. And the ball's gone left. You can see it bouncing in the tennis court there. That ball's out of bounds. So, trouble for our leader here. And Carl Lagdameo, this will be his 4th shot on the par 4 now, taking a stroke and distance penalty after that ball going out of bounds on his 2nd shot. And coming up short of the green here. So, this man in with a chance, Dante Morados, pitching wedge into the green on this par 4. It's his 3rd shot. And up the back of the green, leaving himself about a 20-footer, Tony Unrile. 3rd shot for him, pitching wedge, and comes up short. That's down the front of the green, as we see Lagdameo's 5th shot. Oh, that's well short. Just getting it up on the green, and still has a little over 10 feet left with that. Nice shot there for Unrile, right up beside the pin, and able to tap that one in. Dante Morados, this for par. This would keep him at 3 over for our 4 holes of play. Nice line. Yes, right in the middle for Dante Morados. Great par here on the closing hole, and keeps him at 3 over par. Nice closing hole there for Morados. And Maclang also went out of bounds on the left side of this hole, had that for a double bogey, and just misses. So Dante Morados, with a great par-saving putt on the last hole, becomes our Milo Golf Challenge winner this week, with Carl Lagdameo slipping to 4 over with that out of bounds on 18. That's all we have time for this week. See you again next week on Golf Review.
Just move, you'll be okay. Let the coconut shells carry you away. Lose the inhibition. Filipino rhythm, that's all it takes. Everybody gotta stand up to the coconut dance. Do it anytime, or in the middle of the night. Don't worry about the right step. Take a chance, take a chance. Don't wait, take to it now. The pearl of the Orient is there to be found. Dance away, get up and get down. Swing to the beat of the irresistible sound.
Third court number 1 of San Agustin is the Claret singing action against the Benedictine Abbey School. Claret in the red and Benedictine Abbey in the white and red. This was their semi-final match last Sunday, September 13. After having won previous semi-final rounds, Claret now from the first quarter began to dominate this match. Claret used a combination of double teaming and pressure defense, which were executed faithfully by each member, keeping the Benedictine Abbey behind the lead. Benedictine Abbey continued and bravely tried to get to the lead, but the second half saw a very strong Claret team. In the third quarter, after evaluation of each team, trying to reassess each situation, Benedictine Abbey resorted to a new game plan and began to dominate with an off-guarded Claret team. As the second half continued, Claret recovered its vigilance and secured for themselves at least a 7-point lead. The battle continued, and the winning streak of Claret continued without any let-up from Benedictine Abbey until the last 2 minutes, with at least 13 points apart, 83-64 in favor of Claret. Finally, the match ended at 85-66 in favor of Claret.
Meet another kid in the considered fastest racket sport in town, badminton.
Our Milo kid is currently making a name in Philippine sports.
Hi Milo kids, I'm Anthony Philomore. I am grade 4. I am a badminton player.
He also tells us what made him decide to get into the sports.
I like badminton because it's fun and then it's a fast game.
In order to be a top contender in the sport, one must have regular practice schedule.
I practice 3 times a week.
He reveals some of the major tournaments he has won.
I'm national champion in 12 and 10 and under.
As a parting message, let's hear our Milo kids' advice.
I encourage you to play badminton because you can excel in this sport.
The family plays an important role in an athlete's life.
Anthony has become very active in this sport, and it's done a lot for him both physically and mentally. I encourage all fathers to look for the sport that would be of interest to their kids. It's done a lot of wonders for Anthony, and I'm sure you'll find it interesting for your children as well. I also wish to thank Milo for encouraging the development of sport in this country.
And now to the next round of our Milo Best game.
Over at court number 2, we are now looking at the Small Basketeers Philippines counterpart of last year's Passerelle champion and runner-up, San Beda and Ateneo. Early in the first half, Ateneo dominated the game as much as 9 points, but San Beda was furious. The Red Lions were determined to cut the Blue Eagle lead. At timeout, new plans and strategies were thought up for their new situation. This resulted in the Red Lions gaining the momentum for the game. This resulted in a seesaw battle with Ateneo trying to get back the lead. This continued on until the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. The last few minutes were very crucial as both teams were in a close fight. During these last 2 minutes, San Beda successfully grabbed a 3-point lead over Ateneo at 78-75. However, a deliberate foul by San Beda gave Ateneo an opportunity to cut the San Bedan lead to 1 point. With a score of 78-77, San Beda was now furious to widen their lead. But a miss resulted in an Atenean rebound. This rebound, however, resulted in a 79-78 lead by Ateneo. With 5 seconds remaining in the shot clock, this foul shot was San Beda's last chance to win the match. But with an Ateneo rebound, they pinned now the 79-78 lead to win the match.
How do you feel about Ateneo winning this game?
Well, it's a very big victory for us, considering that we're now into the semi-final stage, and we need every win we can get.
What can you say about the performance of your team?
Well, I'm glad for the boys. They didn't lose heart, especially when we went down by 3 points during the dying seconds of the game.
Benedict, how would you assess your performance today?
Maganda yung laro ko ngayon. Tsaka hindi lang ako gumawa, yung mga ka-teammates ko tumulong sa akin.
Flexibility and balance are best learned in one's childhood. Here's one kid who has that advantage.
Our Milo kid is currently making a name in Philippine sports. Pangalan ko ay si Bonnie Bryden MC Jr. He also tells us what made him decide to get into the sport. Dahil napili ko ang gymnastic para maiwasan ko ang pagbabali ng katawan at para mabalanse ko ang aking katawan sa pagbabagsak.
He reveals some of the major tournament he has won.
Ang nasalihan kong tournament ay mga Club Gymnastica, IS, Singapore, at Rizal Memorial. First place, 5th place, 4th place, 2nd place.
Let's find out how he manages to study and play at the same time.
Pag oras ng klase, ako nag-aaral. At kung oras ng pag-gymnastic, ako yung naglalaro ng gymnastic.
As a parting message, let's hear our Milo kids' advice.
Inaanyayahan ko po kayo, sana po sumali kayo sa paglalaro ng gymnastic para po maiwasan yung pagbabali ng katawan at masanay kayong pagbabalanse ng inyong katawan.
Let's go to the third round of our Milo Best game.
Over at court number 5, we are now witnessing the defending champion Xavier School against LaSalle Green Hills for this semi-final round, the 7th SBP Pastoral Tournament. The first half saw Xavier clawing its way to the lead, with LaSalle controlling the ball game and capping the first quarter. LaSalle showed all of them that they were a team not to be underestimated, even by the defending champion Xavier. By halftime, everybody was assessing their situation, coming up with new game plans. The second half saw LaSalle trying to keep its lead with a neck-to-neck battle against the defending champion Xavier. Here they continued to prove how worthy they were to come up against the defending champion. The lead, however, was short-lived. Xavier began to prove its caliber when they finally tied the game 36-all. Xavier finally broke away with as much as a 10-point lead, and they began to control the ball game. As the quarter continued, Xavier's lead was too much for LaSalle to overtake. LaSalle, however, continued to fight on. Finally, Xavier capped the match with a final score of 85-60.
Let's meet a young athlete in the adult game of golf.
Golf is a sport that more and more kids are getting into. One such kiddie golfer is 11-year-old EJ Marcelo, who's been swinging his clubs for half his life now. Most kids are into basketball, swimming, and other sports. EJ tells us why he chose golf.
Kasi mas interesting eh.
EJ has also had his share at such a young age of his tournaments, local and international.
Sa Junior World, Hong Kong Open, Asian Juniors, at saka mga June Golf, at saka PJGDA.
Kids should never neglect their studies because this would determine their future. EJ puts studies before anything else.
After school, mga weekends, nagka-golf ako.
EJ eats regularly and healthily to improve his game because, as they say, you are what you eat. EJ, a kid of a few words, tells us more.
Kumakain ako ng sustansya pagkain at natutulog sa tamang oras.
EJ is a perfect kiddie role model, excelling in a lot of things but never neglecting his studies. He leaves us with these final words.
Kaya mga bata, para hindi kayo makaano sa masamang bisyo, ba't hindi na lang kayo mag-golf?
If you have any comments, suggestions, or if you happen to know a potential Milo kid, send your name, address, and phone number to Mukha Productions, number 241, Picawaso Street, Cubao, Quezon City. Or you may call East Call 869-1111, pager number 220614. Till next week, this is your host, Lori Lee Ann Baron for Kids Sports. Hello and welcome to Kids Sports. I'm Lori Lee Ann Baron, giving you a look at the promised world of young Filipino athletes. Let's see some graceful and clever exhibitions in the breathtaking world of gymnastics.
The country's top young gymnasts gathered together last Sunday, February 7, to vie for top rankings during the 1993 National Ranking Meet at the Gymnastics Center of the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. Pamela Valdez, Technical Director for Artistic Gymnastics of the Gymnastics Federation of the Philippines, tells us more about the event.
Well, this national ranking meet was in compliance with the requirements of the PSC to more or less identify the top ranking gymnasts of the Philippines at the moment in preparation for the Southeast Asian Games. As you can see, some of the girls today have been identified as, number 1, number 2, number 3. However, that ranking is up to this point not yet final. Okay, it just allows the PSC to identify as I said, the gymnasts who are in a particular ranking. It allows the technical committee to help them improve on their routines in preparation for the next ranking competition, which we hope to hold in March.
Considering the fact that the new code of points was being used to judge the performances of the gymnasts, everyone was genuinely impressed with what they saw.
Well, we use the new code of points, which is the 1992. The code of points changes every cycle of the Olympic year. And so the rules today are very stringent, So the scores that they got today, well, were different from what they did in the SEA Games. But when you look at the all-around scores of the kids, are pretty close to what they did during the SEA Games. So it is a very good evaluation for the children. I feel it's very good evaluation of the children. And we only expected the kids to be able to perform only about, 60 to 70%. Because this is a new code. They've been ready for it since February. So we hope by the SEA Games, whoever makes it to the team, they'll be ready 100% for it. But that should give them a really very high value, so we expect very good scores.
Excellent exhibitions were seen, and because of this, prospects for the coming Southeast Asian Games is also very promising.
I thought it was a very good experience for the girls because this is the first time they've competed against one another since May of last year. So we're also being more strict. We're using the new code. We used today the new code of points from the International Federation, and in which the requirements are a little more tough. I mean, they're actually very much more tough. And the fact that the girls were able to score quite well all around is a good sign because that means that they're really on the way preparing themselves for the Southeast Asian Games and other competitions. Well, the performance today, I would say, in the context of their maximum or optimum level, they would be at about 60%, which is all right because we don't want them to be at 100% in February because they must peak in time for the more important competition. So it has been the general consensus that they were at that level, 60%, and that's very good. In other words, they can maybe increase all their scores by, let's say, a point or at least. That would be a big improvement.
Everybody will be expecting us to perform well because we, as you may know, we won the gold for the team in the last Southeast Asian Games. All the other countries will probably seeded. They will seed us. But we don't know how they are faring also, so I cannot tell you how well we're going to perform. But you can be assured that these girls are going to do their best.
They're doing pretty much okay, considering that they're trying new skills. For now, they're learning new skills for the Southeast Asian Games. So this is the first meet that they've competed some of the skills. So far, it's going okay.
Even the gymnasts themselves think that they will fare well in the coming Southeast Asian Games.
We have all the necessary skills and requirements for the next SEA Games.
After more than 6 tension-filled hours, here are the individual all-around scores of the Artistic Gymnastics National Ranking Meet.
Getting into sports is one way of staying out of drugs. These kids are setting the examples.
Wrestling has been said to be a man's sport, But 13-year-old Maria Victoria Mitra is out to prove that it isn't so.
Nag-umpisa po ako ng wrestling halos mag-iisang taon na ho.
Vicky, a studious 4th grader at the Makati High School, still finds time to practice her favorite sport from Monday to Saturday at the Rizal Memorial Sports Complex.
Panahon po ako sa aking pag-aaral at may panahon din po ako sa aking paglalaro wrestling.
Vicky is not just an ordinary wrestler. She is outstanding and it's evident with her achievements in the sport. She placed first and second in the Novice Wrestling Championship.
Kumakain po ako ng masustansyang pagkain at natutulog sa tamang oras.
As parting words, Vicky leaves this advice to all young aspirants like her.
Kayong mga kabataan, para maiwas kayo sa mga disyo, sumali na lang kayo sa wrestling.
Flexibility and balance are best learned in one's childhood. Here's one kid who has that advantage.
Here now is first placer Tammy De La Cruz in the floor exercise. 16-year-old Tammy De La Cruz started gymnastics at the age of 12. She is the only daughter of Edgar and Yelani De La Cruz. After school, Tammy practices every Monday to Saturday at the Club Gymnastica, where she is being coached by Lisa Paul, Tony Valenzuela, and Nikolai Mayburov. She is currently 4th in the national team. Tammy has had several achievements under her name. She is a member of the team who got gold in the 1991 Southeast Asian Games. She is also first all-around in the Prime Gymnastics Invitational in Singapore. Today, Tammy banked on her consistency in all events to amass a total of 33.75 points, finishing first overall.
I would like to invite all the kids out there to join gymnastics because it's fun and you can learn many things.
Let's meet the future Felix Barrientos.
One of the secrets of becoming a top caliber athlete is to start young. Here's our Milo kid this week.
Nagsimula ako mag-tennis noong summer 1988 sa Mandaluyong. Ang nagturo sa akin nagsimula si Frankie Tutanes. Tapos ngayon, tinitrain ako ni Butch Bacani.
According to the gutsy athlete, being young should not be a hindrance in pursuing one's goal. Thus, it should serve as a challenge.
It's more exciting and when you win, it's just for yourself, not team. I mean, before you win, you should train harder every day and be disciplined. I started 1989, 10 and under. My first tournament was Rizal Memorial. Since 1989, I think I haven't missed any tournament except for some when the schedule is the same as school days.
Having been blessed with all the necessary ingredients of making it big, we're surely looking at a batch of future sports heroes someday.
Yeah, as of now, I'd be happy if I get finals. But maybe years later, I'm hoping that I'll be a champion sometime.
We now move over to second placer Jasmine Valenton in the floor exercise. 14-year-old Jasmine started gymnastics at the age of 8. She is also a trainee of Tony Valenzuela, Lisa Poe, and Nikolai Maiburo. Jasmine practices every Monday to Saturday at Club Gymnastica. She is one of the 4 daughters of Alberto and Joy Valenton. Jasmine has gone quite far in gymnastics. She bagged the gold in the balance beam and bronze in both the bars and floor exercises in the 1991 Southeast Asian Games. During the Casale competition in May of 1992, she finished first overall. Aside from gymnastics, Jasmine's other interests are horseback riding and skating. Today, in the national ranking meet, she finished second with 33.60 points.
To all the young people or even old people out there, join gymnastics because it'll keep you physically fit and it's a lot of fun.
If you have any comments, suggestions, or if you happen to know a potential Milo kid, send your name, address, and phone number to Mocha Productions, number 241, Pico Wasser Street, Cubao, Quezon City. Or you may call East Call 869-1111, pager number 220-614. Till next week, this is your host, Lori Lee Ann Baron for Kids Sports.